பசும்பொன் தேவர் ஜெயந்தி விழா முப்பெரும் விழாவிற்கு முக்குளத்தோர் புலிப்படை அழைக்கிறது. வாருங்கள் தமிழர்களே.
वणक्कम. आप कभी स्पष्ट उत्तर क्यों नहीं देते गोविंद?
My first audition, I remember I was given two scripts. One was for Arjun, another was for Krishna. I really don't know why I said it, but I really said it that if I want to do Mahabaratham, I want to play Krishna only.
This is a show we did many years ago. For me, it was my debut show. I was one of the last few people in the principal cast who joined the show.
I always thought she's hiding something. She must have done real good stuff before somewhere or whatever, or maybe I'm not aware of it. The fact remains that yes, that was a debut show and she was phenomenal.
There is no such scene which I found difficult to detach from or difficult to get attached. And I think part of your craft as an actor is to know the real from the real. Anytime I hear Draupadi, watch another film and there's a reference to Draupadi, my ears go up like that. It's almost like they're talking about me.
When the show was yet to get on the floor, by the end of the year, we got to know that Mahabharata is not happening. Oh. Then our heart broke. Many of us were on the verge of tears.
And Sourab, I have to ask you about those verses. How was that? Because you had to do it all alone.
No, I was not alone. I had ducks and pigeons and sometimes rabbits and different animals accompanied me.
It's always known as, Krishna was always slightly naughty, in the childhood stories of Krishna. So when you know him, then you get to know Sakha like the way you know him. You'll know him as Krishna, the god, the ideal man, the good guy, the nice guy. If you know him the way I know him as a friend, then you will know he is inherently very naughty.
Behindwoods Personals with Tarala, Iniki, Enkoda, Sourab, Jain and Pooja irkanga. Hi and welcome to my show.
Hi Tara. Thank you so much for having us here.
It's a great honor and great thing for me to have you both in my show because I am a great fan of Mahabharata and I just loved your performances. Thank you for being on my show.
Thank you so
again. How is this hangover? Because it's continuing till now because people are still showing the love. So how is it?
It's just extremely heartwarming, yeah. I mean, this is a show we did many years ago. For me, it was my debut show. And for everyone associated with the show, it's actually some sort of a high point. But as you rightly said, the high point's not coming to an end. The love that is just flowing to us again and again in the second round again is extremely heartwarming. I mean, to receive love like that for your work is always extremely welcoming. So through the medium of your show, I think a big thank you to everyone who's loving the show and continuing to pour so much love.
Like Saki said, through this medium, all the viewers down south who loved our show, they are giving us so much of love on the various social platform sites. Thanks to each one of them. It really means a lot to an artist and it does mean a lot to us too.
And you know something? During this pandemic, we had 3 retelecasts actually. 3 times continuously.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. That's really cool.
So we Tamil people, we just go crazy for the show. So it was repeated 3 times continuously.
I love that. You're not bored of the show. How cool is that?
Of course, we are not bored. Still, everything is so fresh. How did you get into the character? You both.
To talk about the character, as I told you, it was my debut show. I had never done a show before that, and this was like a whirlwind process for me. So, I was one of the last few people in the principal cast who joined the show. I think I joined the show pretty much a month before the telecast of the show. I was the last one to join. For me, it happened overnight, and I was practically thrown into the throes of the thing. Usually the production house that has made this show, Swastik Productions, they believe in a lot of preparation. And everyone did get a lot of preparation. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't. I didn't get any prep time. So I really had to kind of learn everything on the set, observing my co-actors and co-actors like Sourab and Sakha for me were amazingly helpful. There were times I'd get a little jittery. So, for me, in all honesty, that's what pretty much set the tone of the kind of actor I was to become in the future. And most importantly, what helped me was the script. The script of this show, the writing of this show is so fantastic that if I could just pretty much dwell on that, my job was done.
But your performance didn't look like that. We started to believe you as Draupadi from the very first frame you appeared.
Thank you, Tara. That's really a compliment, but that's really the coming together of the work of a lot of people. And if you then kind of don't match up to everyone else's level of perfection, then that becomes a personal failure. And I'm glad that it did not. And luckily, we could come up with decent performances. So, yeah, eternally grateful for that.
So taking forward to what you said to Pooja about achieving too good, I actually could not believe for a very long time that that was her first show. I always thought she's hiding something. She must have like done real good stuff before somewhere or whatever, or maybe I'm not aware of it. But the fact remains that yes, that was her debut show, and she was phenomenal, amazingly good.
Thank you,
About
sir. Now
me,
about your
about me being into the character, like Saki mentioned that Swastik provides workshops to all their actors for all their shows. And that happened to Mahabharat also. So one year when the show was yet to get on the floor, we had time and there were actors who were supposed to play respective characters and I was one of them. And we were given workshops. But by the end of the year, we got to know that Mahabharat is not happening. And
Oh.
then our heart broke. Lot many of us were like on the verge of tears. Then eventually we did different things. I did another show. And then when that show got over, we got a call that the show is happening again. But by that time, the cast was majorly changed. And it was me and Shakuni, Dhritarashtra. Only we three remained. I think all others were changed. It was different. They were different characters, different people portraying the same characters. So then that's how we started working on the show.
But how did you believe yourself to be a god? Because that was the main thing. When you start believing, only then we will start believe it. That was a great responsibility you must have had, I guess.
I don't know. When I went for my first audition, I remember that I was given two scripts. One was for Arjun, another was for Krishna. And that
Okay.
time itself, I don't know why. I really don't know why I said it, but I really said it that if I want to do Mahabharat, I want to play Krishna only. I don't want to do any other character. And I just gave audition of Krishna, and then I got selected, and then whatever happened happened.
Can you just pick one scene in which you were like too much involved and it was so difficult to detach from the scene?
in all honesty, there is no such scene which I found difficult to detach from or difficult to get attached. All happened very organically. Somehow, to me, I think it's very detrimental to an actor if you get so extremely attached to the emotions you're portraying, because I don't think I will ever be able to recover if I actually go into that. And I think
True.
part of your craft as an actor is to know the real from the real. Because when you do a normal show, you're starting a character from scratch. But when you do iconic characters like Krishna and Shakuni and Arjun and Draupadi and Bhim or whoever else, everyone has a mental perception of what this character is supposed to be. And to be
Exactly.
able to surpass that in a country of, I don't know how many billion people we are. So, to kind of be able to largely satiate everyone's mental image is not just your own job. It is beyond your work, beyond the work of your team. It is just something, just at the right time, everything falling into place. Anytime I
Yeah.
hear Draupadi, watch another film and there's a reference to Draupadi, my ears go up like that. It's almost like they're talking about me. But yeah, vice.
I totally agree to what Saki is saying. I think if I have to use the word attachment, then I would say the entire show. I think we all still are very attached and will remain so for our entire life. It's not about one particular scene or one particular shot, because every moment that we shot there, it's golden memory for us. So it's very difficult to distinguish between one than the rest of them.
And you already told you didn't have much time to get into the character, but then how did the magic happen?
Thank you if you think magic happened, firstly. I don't think initially the magic was happening for me. Initially, I found it a little difficult. And I don't think
Okay.
it had anything to do with the nature of the show. It had primarily to do with the craft of acting. I didn't really have a craft. I didn't know how to go about things, the technicalities.
Don't
So
tell me
initially,
that.
yes, I still remember I came back home and after the first sketch, I pretty much came back home and held my head and I said, I can't see myself going through this. I can't do this. But then I remember I realized that wasn't an option. I could say it, but it wasn't. Giving up was not an option for me. So I did whatever I could. I used to watch other shows to kind of get a hang of things. I was coming from the world of ads. Everything is shot very quickly, and television has a certain hold. And this was a mythological show. The characters needed to have a certain body language. All of that, I think basically for me just required some amount of time. And with some time, I could get a hang of things. And as I said, it pretty much set the tone of the kind of actor I would become. After that, I realized, at least till now, that I kind of go by instincts. I don't think too much. And all these lovely things that my co-actors say, that, they attribute the character, they attribute the thing, this, that. I am also an overthinker, but for me, it's almost like when I read something, I kind of get a mental image of, I should say this like this character will talk like that, or this scene will be like this, or this is going to be like this, or almost feeling like an instrument to allow that whatever that moment will flow through me. So my process is a little woo-hoo, a little in the air. I don't know what happens, but something happens.
So getting in the character, like I said, we were given the workshop, so that really helped. During that time, I had a lot of time reading a lot of stuff. I read a lot of books related to Krishna, related to Mahabharata, so that really helped. I always thought, whenever I thought of Krishna, that, you give elements sometimes to the character. Ye wala element is going to go with this character. Like if it's a fierce character, then you give it a fire element, or if it is somebody who is very light and moving and like almost like a air character. For Krishna, I always thought that although it has components of all the elements, but yet I always thought that it has to have a water feel to it, something which is very fluid in all aspects of life or situations. So I think that is what I really worked on it. More so for its physicality, because that was really required for Krishna to behave like Krishna, to smile like Krishna, or to walk like Krishna. In that perspective, I really gave a lot of thought about it, and I tried to put into the character. Along with that, I also believe that our major work was done by the writers. I used to have goosebumps just while reading the scene itself. So when it's written so beautifully, you have no other choice but end up doing your best, because then it will be a complete dishonesty to your work, even for yourself and even for the writer. So I would say that all of these together, it's never one thing. There's so many different, and the actors, of course, with whom I was acting, if they were not so brilliant, I would not be able to give my reaction in that particular way, the way they were acting. So, and our directors, our background score, which really helps the building the character. So all of these things helped in getting us into the character that you all see.
So from day one, you got into the character, or can you just say no? I took this much time to get into the character. It was like from day one.
When we shot for it, yes, I think I was into it. I was anxious, yes, the first day very much, because I'm as person also very anxious. I think a lot. I overthink myself up. So on the first day, I was extremely anxious, but that slowly faded away once we started shooting. But that actually helped, because the thing that helped was because we were doing the workshops, we were doing the reading, we knew that how it is going to be like. So that really helped.
And Saurabh, I have to ask you about those verses, which will come at the end of the show. How was that? Because you had to do it all alone.
No, I was not alone. I had ducks and pigeons and sometimes rabbits and different animals accompanied me.
And actors,
And at times
they
they
were
were better.
actors who had no sense of professionalism. The ducks would quack when they wanted to. The bird would chirp and fly around. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, so those were Gyan sequences, and I think it was a very well thought out thing of our writers and our creative producer Siddharth Kumar Tiwari. According to him, he thought that Mahabharata, there is one Gyan sequence which comes out at the time of Gita Sar, when Krishna gives Gyan. That is one time when you take out the star of the entire thing that is happening around. Till today, you can relate to it. But what he wanted was that we will give that little bit of Gyan sequence in each and every episode. So as the story unfolds, we know that where we are heading and why we are heading. So all of that, I think, really clicked with the audience, and they really liked it. And it was it was really fun shooting that. Like he mentioned that at times when I was shooting for those sequences, the ducks will start with their quack 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 all the time in between the shots, and then we'll have to wait for a while and then say my dialogue. So all that happened, but it was all fun, really good.
One gyan which you like take and try to apply in your life whenever you have the bad time.
So yes, I can say that I know of many things, and people expect me to, expect me to say that I understand a lot of things. But at the end of the day, I'm just a human being and an actor. But one thing that I try to remind myself over and again is one line that Krishna mentioned in Mahabharata was that जो व्यक्ति ये जान लेता है कि वो स्वयं कुछ नहीं करता, उसी के हाथों कोई महत्व का कार्य हो पाता है. So it's like everything that we do, uh, if you think that you are doing it, if you take the onus of it, or you take the credit of whatever is happening is just your doing, then it is not right. Lekin, on the contrary, if you think that it's not only you, as in the physical body, you're doing it. It's actually the Almighty. You're becoming a medium for that to happen. Only then something of importance can happen or benefits.
And talking about your friends in Panchapandavas, who's more close to you, like off screen?
You know, in all honesty, for me, they came to me as a band of brothers. You know, it's very difficult for me to see them individually or to even remember what their real names are. You know, for me, it always is about their screen names. And apparently, at some level, for them also, you know, I am always Panchali. And the right on me is always like the right of all five of them together. So, you know, they were such a thick band of brothers, all five of them. And so in their own level of fun and their bonding per se as brothers, despite minor differences here and there, minor human differences, they are almost like a band of brothers, very well bonded. So I can't really see them as five different people. I really see them as one entity, the five Pandavas, and all five of them were amazing. Like genuinely very, like they were amazing to me. They're great to work with because they're very chilled out, very easygoing. They didn't take the pressure of we are making this mighty show called Mahabharata where we have to be super serious. They're very fun to work with. So yes, for me they're just one entity.
Everybody, it's like a scene, like your favorite scene. I really can't distinguish between one from the another. Favorite, I really don't. I really can't say choose one. All of them all of them all. But I'll tell you one thing. During Mahabharata, with the Krishna's character, it like you mentioned earlier, it was like a responsibility on my shoulders in so many different levels, not from the other people's expectation, but my own expectation from my own self. I remember I used to be on set with the scenes almost all the time. I was with my script, not only on the set, but even when I used to go back home, I used to be in my scripts. Because one thing is there that, in Mahabharata, whenever Krishna's monologue or the scenes, whenever that used to happen, the major lines used to be of Krishna's most of the times. So I did not have that time to, in terms of enjoy or bond or go out and stuff like that. I actually didn't do that. I could not do that during that time. But whatever time that we spent together, all of us, like in between the shot or, whenever we had time or during lunches or whatever, that was equally bonded well with everybody, all of them all.
That
And
match
Saki
is.
down there is one of my favorites.
I know, I
I
can
was
see
just
that.
waiting for that. I was just waiting for that. Say it, I am your favorite.
So one quality of yours that matches with the character.
It is 0.000000000 something matches. I may, then it's my blessing, completely blessing. I don't think I can match up to even, a minutest of the minute thing with the character. No, nothing of nothing.
I'll tell you. You know that little naughtiness that Krishna's character has. That Krishna per se is always known as, Krishna was always slightly naughty, in the
Yeah.
childhood stories of Krishna.
Yeah.
So when you know him, when you get to know Sakha like the way you know him, you will know him as Krishna, the god, the ideal man, the good guy, the nice guy. If you know him the way I know him as a friend, then you will know he is inherently very naughty. He's very naughty. And if he's putting water over your head, he'll make sure he puts water over your head, even if you're going to go in a short. And he's going to deny it, but that's how he is. He's very naughty. That this naughtiness, that crazy naughtiness is there in him.
What about you? What one character that would match with Draupadi?
Not completely, but I think at some level, the ability to kind of be able to stand up for yourself, to have a certain sense of self. I don't know whether I have it, but I'm always aiming for it. I'm always trying to be that person who has a very strong sense of self and who has an inner compass. I feel which is something that Draupadi had. In a time where, I mean, she was being disrobed in such a big sabha, she knew and she inherently knew that this is wrong. And I mean, everyone else knew this is wrong, but she knew that this is the time to stand up for yourself and do the right thing. And she could say the right thing. I don't know whether I'm exactly that, but that's something I definitely keep aiming for.
How was the farewell? Like, from tomorrow, no more set, no more Draupadi, you can't be the same, you can't be Krishna. So how was that moment?
It was emotional, definitely. We were all shooting away from home. So, when you are away from home at a place where so many people are like working together almost daily, morning till night, and then, you tend to make a bond with each and everybody out there, not only actors, with other people. There's so many people on the sets. So, last day was emotional, definitely. And but at the same time, I think I can say that for everybody that it was satisfying also, because though sometimes when you work and it gives you a sort of satisfaction. Mahabharat is one of those shows for all of us. So all these feelings together.
Honestly, Mahabharata is a show that I believe I can also speak for everyone that has given each one of us, cast and crew, memories of a lifetime. It was an experience very removed and away from what normal, perhaps, work experiences are. The last day, yes, I mean, we were working a very long shift. We, I think, shot over 24 hours. We were shooting through the night. And then, so yeah, I mean, I remember we were still having fun. We were still laughing. You know how it is. Eventually, with such a heavy show, humor is what kind of takes you through. So by the end of it, we were all laughing, cracking jokes, and then we got to go home. And then everyone was excited about the party, and that really was the nature of that show. Always looking forward to something nice, and everything was about bonding and togetherness.
That was so nice talking to you both. But before I let you both, I wanted to have a small recreation scene. Can you just try and talk your lines?
I remember my constant sort of prayer to him throughout the show was, "Aap kabhi spasht uttar kyun nahi dete, Govind?" I have so many times I said this is one line to him. "Aap spasht uttar kyun nahi dete, Govind?" And then Govind never gave me a spasht uttar.
Thank you so much for your time. That was so nice to have you. Before one thing you share to the Tamil audience, because as I said, they love you like anything. So what would you like to share to them?
I would say that thank you so much for giving us so much of love. Like you mentioned, that it ran thrice, not once, twice, but thrice continuously in this period. And as an artist, this really means a lot to us. So thank you so much for showering your love. Please continue to keep us in your prayers, and we shall entertain you till the time we are alive. Thank you so much.
So since it's the Tamil audience, so I'll just say whatever little I know, which is Vanakkam. So most importantly, Vanakkam. I know that much, so I will say. And thank you so much for showering so much love. And your love does reach us through social media. And it's extremely heartwarming. I cannot thank you enough. I wish there were better words through which I could convey the gratitude and love that I feel in my heart for all the love that comes to me. So I can also say that I can only request that keep loving us like this. And I'm saying this line only so that I can add another Tamil word that I know, which is seri. Okay? Seri? Keep loving us. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா லைக் பண்ணுங்க. இதே மாதிரி இன்னும் நிறைய வீடியோஸ் பண்றோம். உங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் ஃபேமிலி கூட இந்த வீடியோவை ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க. என்ன தோணுதோ அதை கமெண்ட் செக்ஷன்ல கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க. 52 லட்சம் பேர் எங்க ஃபேமிலியை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ நீங்களும் கண்டிப்பா சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க.
உயிர் இருக்கா? ஐயோ, அது உயிரோட இன்னுமே இருக்குங்க. சபிக்க போது என்ன? சத்தியமா எனக்கு தெரியாது. என்ன மன்னிச்சிரு.
பசும்பொன் தேவர் ஜெயந்தி விழா முப்பெரும் விழாவிற்கு முக்குளத்தோர் புலிப்படை அழைக்கிறது. வாருங்கள் தமிழர்களே.